so today we're going to be talking about the concept of inner child. So inner child healing, inner child connection, just all things to do with inner child. So I don't know about you, but it seems to be a bit of a buzzword at the minute, which has definitely gotten more and more popular as the years have gone by, which is a good thing. But I thought it would be quite good to just have a quick chat about the actual concepts of inner child and things like that, because there's lots of literature about almost more on a superficial level of, inner child, let's go to the playground and let's go swing on a park, or swing on a swing in the park, or build a puzzle, or buy yourself a balloon, and that's me with my inner child, and we've got a connection, and we sorted it, and we're okay. And all those activities and practical day-to-day applications of working with your inner child and connecting with them is all valid, and there's all purpose and meaning to that. However, there is a deeper level of connection and need for a deeper level of connection to actually bring that subconscious awareness and that subconscious connection between your conscious self and the adult version of you present here today, and your inner child as it is right now, and then being able to heal and repair the relationship so that if your inner child needs healing and recalibration, it has the space and the mechanisms and the support structure in order to do that. And 2, having that relationship and connection with your adult version and your inner child, so that as you move through your adult life, you're not held back or stuck or have these almost emotional, immature, or just in general immature moments that come up. And usually that's because of a wounded inner child that doesn't have the platform to be seen, just doesn't have space and doesn't have time or space within your psyche to be seen. So it plays out when situations happen that trigger that wound. It then acts up, and your kind of adult conscious self is like, oh my goodness, did I just do that? Like, did I just react to that way and someone just passed me the juice, but I wanted the water and I've had a whole hissy fit over nothing? Like, where has that come from? And it's a deeper layer of that wounded inner child, for whatever reason, felt neglected or overlooked or misjudged or whatever, and there's been no platform for that wounding or just situation to be brought to light. So I'm kind of jumping around a little bit, but let's get into it. So there's 2 core parts or aspects of your inner child. One is the wound, or your wounded inner child, and the other is what we could say the healed inner child, or your inner child in its full fruition, full beauty, full abundance. So there's incredible gifts that your inner child brings to your psyche, to your life, to your well-being in general, and is fundamental to your core purpose and mission in this life. It is the core source and key code of your creativity and of your creative purpose. So if you don't have that connection with your inner child, and or your inner child is wounded and needs help and love and nurturance to become its whole self again, you're never going to have that full expression of your true creative source. So let's go back into, I'll have a quick sip of tea very quickly. Thanks. So It's to accept with pure love, with pure understanding, with pure compassion, with pure unconditional love, that we all are human. And we all are flawed, and we all have flaws. So our parents or our caretakers or our one parent or our different types of parents, whoever was in our core network of us growing up in our childhood, younger years, did the best that they could. And there's various scales. You might have come from a more nurturing upbringing where there was time for you, where there was attention for you, where you had space to develop yourself and your identity, with a bit of lack here and there. And you might be on the other extreme where there was abuse, neglect, trauma, unsafe environments. You could never form an identity because you were put in survival mode immediately. You never felt safe. And that trauma conditioning patterning has stemmed and influences your nervous system, and your whole life patterning from now stems from that inner child, that little child that never felt safe. So it's paramount to do this in a healing work in this aspect, because there will always be an element of you that's not quite whole. Until these two puzzle pieces fit and connect and work together, you're always going to have an element of being disjointed in your life. So let's say, love our parents to bits. They did the best they could, or our caretakers did the best they could. However, there is a gap. There is a gap between what you needed and what you deserved and what you received. And that is okay. It is okay. However, we all deserve and deserved full unconditional love, full acceptance, full freedom of expression. And because in parts and aspects of our childhood we didn't receive that on a full spectrum basis, there are gaps, there are triggers, there are wounds, there's issues, there's needing to be seen, there's needing to be met, there's needing to be felt, there's needing to have love in aspects that weren't loved and things like that. So that's where the kind of aspects of reparenting your inner child come into play. So it's come quite big into therapy, into formal schools of therapy. So there's a lot of aspects and avenues for that to happen. I do quite a bit of work into that in a inner child workshop course that I have. It's just a small aspect of it. It's just day-to-day practicalities. There's a big in-depth healing journey that we go on, where you make space for this awareness to come in. So things like looking back into your childhood, writing letters to your inner child, picking up key points on if you were bullied at school, how that made you felt, but you get taken onto a journey to kind of see and identify where were the key points where you felt neglected, overlooked, not heard, not listened to. Like, for example, for me, I'm in my late 30s now, and I only realized the other day I felt really scared and really nervous about being happy. I thought if I was happy for too long a time, I would be told to be quiet, to stop being so happy, stop being so bouncy, stop being so joyful. I unfortunately had parents that were more on the depressive side, or a mom that was definitely more depressed. So being happy was dangerous to her. So we were told, you were too happy for too long, be quiet, things like that. So on a subconscious energetic patterning level, I felt like if I was happy for too long, I'd be told off. And you never make that recognition and that kind of connection unless you're doing this kind of work. So that's just an example. So one is connecting with your inner child and doing the inner work, discovering the key core wounding, things like that. Then the other aspect, when you're in your adult version, adult self, and you're doing the inner work, you're developing self-love, you're developing a level and layer of self-acceptance within yourself that you can hold space, you can hold a layer of unconditional love and acceptance for yourself. That's when you can bring kind of time for your inner child, and you can bring a holding space where your inner child can come up to the surface and be seen and be felt and be heard and be met. And that's when the healing and the kind of integration can come, and that's when the activities have their value and their benefits. So it's, you've made the connection, they are in your conscious awareness and presence, and you say, you know, what's coming up for you right now? You know, what's happening? Oh, you know, that coworker makes me really, really sad. You know, that coworker makes me really, really anxious. Like, I don't like going into work because she makes me really scared. Things like that. So it's like, okay, so what's happening? Like, what do I need to do to make you feel safe when you're in the office? Well, I'd really like to have a story in the morning, and please can you tell me some nice things before we're going into work, things like that. And you'd never know what to do until you made that connection and had that conversation. You would just always feel anxious about going into work, but you don't really quite know why. So yes, you could do nervous system support and things like that, but the nervous system is always going to kick in on the subconscious layered patterning of your inner child. So that's the kind of deeper work of the healing and the connection and things like that. Again, the workshop has a whole aspect of that before we do the shamanic journey of making the conscious connection. We do preliminary preparatory work for you to identify your wounds of your inner child and bringing that into the psyche. The other aspect, which is a little bit more fun, is that once your inner child has had that time and that space and all the aspects that it didn't receive growing up in whatever supportive care you had or whatever environment you had, once it's received and it's received some care and attention and is starting to heal, that's when the magic happens. Oh my goodness. When your inner child is safe and feels safe and knows it will be safe with you, when your inner child feels happy and content and is alive and joyful, your inner child has key sacred energetic codes that carries your knowing, your energetic blueprint, and your patterning for how you are meant to be in this world and how you are meant to be creating in this world, in this dimension, in this reality that you're in right now. They know the way, they know how to get you there, they know what you need to be doing, they act as your guide, they act as your compass, they show you when you're off course, they show you how to bring you back together. You know, when you see people around the world and they've got that spark, they've got that joy, they've got that zest, they've got that vigor, and you're like, wow, you know, I'm with this person, they just light me up and they're just so big. And personality aside, you can get gregarious people, you can get quiet people, you can get humble people, you know, whatever your personality and identity is, there's this exuberance that comes through. That's a very strong aspect is your inner child. They light up, they've got joy, they've got playfulness, they're your spontaneity, they trust life, they're excited, they can't wait to get out the door and see what's going to happen. You know, it is a classic musical of baskets of flowers and people singing, and you know, you get presented with baguettes and baskets on bicycles. Like, that is the symphony of your inner child, and all you're doing is you're just brushing your teeth in the morning, getting ready for the day. Like, they carry your joy, your spark, your magic. And when you have time to make these introspection kind of self-reflection check-ins with them, they'll let you know if you, of course, they'll say, I don't like this person. This person's not safe. They're not making me feel safe. I don't like them. And if you're really doing the work, you'll see, okay, well, actually, that's you just being scared because of what happened in the past. Or, no, this is a red flag trigger that you are flagging up for me, and I need to pay attention because you don't feel safe. You're shutting down. It means this person's not safe for me. It means this environment's not safe for me. It means I need to get out and make steps to get out or change. So that's very simply, in a nutshell, the kind of aspects about what it is to do inner child work and to work with inner child's magic and connection. I hope you found this helpful. As I've mentioned, I do a workshop. It's an inner child healing and connection workshop. You can have a look about the details of it on my website, meditationmama.co.uk. What I will do is I will link in the description box below. So in the workshop, we do a full shamanic journey where you connect in your subconscious realm, healing space. You make the connection to your inner child and you bring that back up to light, and you do the healing work and connection and reparenting of that. But what I'll do is below I'll link a healing heart meditation which you can do with your inner child, and it's a wonderful way to connect on a slightly more superficial level, but it's a wonderful way to bring that connection in. I hope you're doing well, and I hope you found this helpful, and please do like, comment, share, get this around, and yeah, I hope you're good, and best of luck, and I hope you live hope you live your life with lots of magic and spark and joy. Okay.